we actually are living in a little bit of an uncertain week because the election's probably called, but it's still not official. And maybe by the time this video actually gets released in the next day or so, that they'll make an official announcement or whatever, and Trump will concede or whatever it is. But there is a lot of uncertainty, and I think a lot of people live in uncertainty. And I know, Carrie, you have some things to say about the prospect of thinking about the future. And I'll just let you just take it away on the topic here.
Yeah, well, I came across an article from Comment Magazine. Apparently, they're dedicating their whole magazine this month to the idea of navigating uncertainty. And of course, these people aren't libertarians, so bear that in mind. But I think this article is really good because it talks about just the humbling nature of uncertainty and the fact that we are now being made keenly aware of uncertainty. And it's not just with the election, although I think that's the immediate thing. It's certainly uncertainty when it comes to COVID-19 and what's going to happen with that. But there's a quote down below, I think it's second to the last paragraph, I think, where she points out that there it is. She says, ours is not the first era to be thrown into a tumbler without an endpoint. There are those living around the world today, including many in our own midst, who know precarity like a brother. We can learn from these ignored sages, from the poor, from those diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and so on. And the idea here is that this is an opportunity for us to actually learn and grow. And just from a Christian standpoint, I think the book of Ecclesiastes really gives us, especially as Americans, we want to have certainty, and we've had a luxury of some degree of certainty. And this idea that we have to know all the things and have all of the answers. And the book of Ecclesiastes, I think, gives us a really sober antidote to that, and the fact that no, this really is an uncertain life. But I also wanted to point out that libertarianism talks about uncertainty as a concept. It takes that into account. Ludwig von Mises talks about uncertainty in his book Human Action. And the reality is that we always live in uncertainty, and that's a starting point for us. And so I think that this is a great way for us to talk about libertarianism and talk about how the free market is really helpful in uncertain times. So that's what I wanted to bring up.
I just want to say to all of our teenage listeners out there, if you are in your teenage angst or depressive years and you decide to pick up the book of Ecclesiastes, please read all the way to the end of the book before you start realizing, vanity, vanity, all is vanity. I guess we're done. Oh boy.
Actually, the Bible Project has some great videos explaining the book of Ecclesiastes. I highly recommend them.
That's just my urge to everybody. Get to the end of Ecclesiastes before you make your final determination about life. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like Norman has something to say.
Uncertainty is a fundamental aspect of human life. If we didn't have both dissatisfaction and uncertainty about what the future would hold, because we don't know what it is, then there's no real motivation to act at all. Mm-hmm. But there's a really another factor that is probably underappreciated sometimes by this is just the facet of risk, in that as we are trying to deal with uncertainty, we're constantly making assessments based on the riskiness of future endeavors and activities, whether that's whether I'm going to go by plane to travel to Colorado, or whether I'm going to go in a car, and assessing the risk involved in either going and crashing my car or crashing an airplane versus some other activity as well.
Whoa, that was kind of crazy and not expected.
Uncertain even.
We were uncertain what was going on there. Very confusing. just like this whole year. This just totally matches.
2020.
Actually, we had a technical difficulty and we realized that it stopped recording like a few minutes before we ended. So we actually got the whole thing, except for like maybe a few jabs at each other. I think Carrie made Matthew a sandwich off air.
It was mostly at my expense, and I'm offended.
Yes. Okay. Well,
But it was perfect.
Then you clearly voted for Joe Biden because it's something so easily to be offended by.
So easily offended by everything.
Yes. Or you should go riot and break things. Go break some
Pennsylvania,
Amish.
So
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't the book, was it?
We have to. We have.
Because
Matthew,
you just have to get it started, and then it's good.
Yep.
No, don't rev up this book. Go buy the book
I'm not the
on
power
Amazon.
team, Doug.
You can order a physical copy very, very soon, November 10th, if all goes well in our file quality assurance. And you can also get it on Kindle on that day. It's ready to go for Kindle. And so thanks, everybody, for watching the Libertarian Christian Roundtable. Check us out at libertarianchristians.com. You can also check out the book at faithseekingfreedom.com, and where you can also get like the further reading list, which is like a super exhaustive, extensive reading list of things to read about libertarianism, economics, social issues, climate change, all kinds of things that we talk about in the book that we want you to keep reading. That is already up and available, and you can also get links to the book to order it. So thanks for being here again.
And everybody on this roundtable is a contributor to this book, except for me. So
Yet another reason to buy the book.
Another reason to get
Yeah.
the book. So